Hello everybody, welcome back to another Jurassic World review. This time it is a Dominion figure, and this is the last figure of the Target Wave 2, I guess. The Wave 2. Today we're going to be taking a look at a very special figure today. One I have been looking for ever since I've heard it's been popping into stores. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Jurassic World Dominion Sound Slashin Therizinosaurus. And holy cow, this thing is massive. I did not realize how big this figure is. All the ones I've been seeing on videos on YouTube made it seem so small. But yet, having it in hand, this thing is massive. They are not kidding. It kind of makes sense how the Therizinosaurus, even in the movie, seemed pretty large. But I'm just super excited to have a Therizinosaurus Jurassic Park toy. That is awesome to me. I am super excited to take a look at this guy. So happy to finally have it. I can finally rest easy. I just can't wait to open it. So we have the generic Dominion logo, and it's kind of hard to keep it all in here because this packaging is also pretty big too. You know, typical for their packaging. You got the Pyroraptor on one end, and then we got the Jurassic World Dominion logo on the other. And then on the back, shows the Facts app information, and it shows what the Therizinosaurus can do. It can chomp, and it has slashing action. Oh man, I cannot wait to get this guy to the package. And then it has the T-Rex down there, which I have reviewed. So you can check that out if you want. Anyways, enough with the packaging. I want to get this dinosaur out of the box. And we will do that right now. Alright, so here we have the Therizinosaurus out of the box. And it's even better out of the box. It's even better, like, once you have it in person out of the box. It looks amazing. It is definitely a lot bigger out of the box, I would say. But this thing just looks so cool. I'm super excited to actually have an actual Jurassic Park Therizinosaurus figure. And the fact this is actually from the movie, so we're getting a Therizinosaurus in the movie, so that's like really exciting. This is a truly amazing figure. Probably amongst like the best figures from Mattel, or at least one of my personal favorites. It looks so cool, and I cannot wait to start taking pictures with this thing later on this summer. So let's take a look at the awesome sculpt work that this animal is covered in. Here's the head. This is such a unique looking head for a Therizinosaurus, and look at the awesome feathered sculpting detail on the side of the jaw there. Mattel's really done a really good job with that. And you got some nice other line sculpted crease work all throughout the head. And I really like the yellow raptor eye with like the red around it. It looks really nice. And it looks awesome. And to be honest, a lot of people were pointing out how this Therizinosaurus head looks very similar to like a velociraptor, to like a Jurassic Park velociraptor, which actually that makes sense. Because I believe Therizinosaurs were closely related to dromaeosaurs, or the raptors, so I guess it would kind of make sense that this dinosaur, being related to raptors like velociraptor, would have a raptor-like head. So I don't know. I find that very cool, and even though technically the only difference is that, other than body proportions, this guy was a herbivore and not a carnivore like raptors. But I find that pretty cool. Here we got like the little beak sculpted right here. Really wish the beak was painted, just to kind of like make it pop, kind of bring it out to show people, hey, this guy was an actual herbivore. But I feel like when it's not painted, people don't get that response. Inside the mouth looks pretty cool. The teeth look a little too big. On all the renders, they're kind of small, which is like a characteristic for it being a herbivore. But these teeth, even though they're a little big, it's not gonna. I'm not gonna like be disappointed by it. It's just something just to point out, I guess. Here's the top of the head, very nice sculpt work up there. And here towards the back, you got some nice feather sculpting detail. This dinosaur toy is just decked out in some really nice feather sculpt work. And you'll see that as I continue down. And then here's the neck. Got some nice feather work right here. It just looks so amazing. It looks so cool, so realistic too. And I like the little white stripe that it has there. So yeah, very nice detail on the neck. I also feel like the neck might be a little too short for this Therizinosaurus. But like in some angles it looks longer, but in some angles it doesn't. I guess we'll kind of have to wait and see for what it really looks like in the movie. Here on the body, you got some other awesome feather detail. And then towards the arms here, nice sculpt work on the arms, skin wise, and you got some nice larger feathers sculpted towards like the edge of the arms, like where the elbow is. And here you got the hands, and then the huge claws, which are the most important characteristic of Therizinosaurus. The huge claws, and they're painted, and obviously they have to be painted. They're like huge, you can't just miss out on those. But the scales on the fingers are nicely done. And then here on this one, like on the underside of the fingers, you got some very nice scale detail on there as well, and some more detail on the arms. Here we got the underside. You got some nice finer line work going on there. And again on the body, some very nice feather detail, and same here on the leg. Very nice texturing on the skin and the feathers, and you got some nice muscular legs. You can see the muscle definition there. And then the feet are, once again, well sculpted. You can see all the different scale details, and then the large plate-like scales that all birds have on their feet. And you got some more right here kind of on the shin area. So yeah, very, very well done figure, Mattel. And then here you got the underside of the feet, which is awesomely sculpted again. Here's kind of towards the back of the figure. And then we get that some more awesome feather detail towards like the back end, and then obviously the tail. The tail looks awesome. Look at that. It's like an actual fanned feathered tail. Really cool. The underside here is all skin, so you got some nice wrinkles going on there. And then just a nice feather fan on the tail. And the feathers towards here are made of a soft rubber, so they're very soft. But they're sculpted very nicely. I just love the way they look. I love the whole tail. It looks really good. So yeah, this guy's really well sculpted. And as far as paint goes, the paint looks awesome. Mattel did a very good job in the paint. I like the overall dark bluish gray feathers, or the main body tone, and you got some lighter tones for the face and the underside. Then you got this really nice red stripe on the back, and then the white stripe, and then the very nice yellow eye with the red around it really makes it pop. So yeah, this guy's overall color tones are very nice. And if I can, hopefully you guys can see it on camera, but there is like these orangish, brownish bits of color like spread out between the entire figure, like it's actually molded into the actual base plastic, so it's almost like a marbling effect, but it really gives off like this dirty, muddy, feathery, like wild animal look to it. It makes it more realistic. um and I love that. I love how Mattel's been doing that with their figures, at least for this year. So yeah, I really like that touch. And it's a lot better to see in person rather than on camera. Articulation wise, the head can go up a little bit and it can go down a little bit. So you got some nice movement there. The head can also swivel from, or I guess rotate all the way around, but not all the way around, so it can look from side to side, which is good enough for me. I mean, you're not going to need it to look all the way around, right? So you can make it look one way, then you can make it look the other way. So very nice movement there. The head, I believe it's on a ball joint because it can also like tilt its head from side to side too. So very nice range of movement on the head here. And then the arms are just full of articulation, and I have to zoom in to make it better to show on video. But here you got a hinge around like the shoulder, so you can, like as usual, the arms can move forwards and backwards, and then they can also pivot in and out like so. And then here at the elbow joint, it can just basically go forwards and backwards. And then they can also swivel or rotate. And then here on the hands, or at least around the wrist area, it can twist all the way around, and they can go down pretty far. So you can get that classic inaccurate pronated wrist, and then it can go up pretty far too. So a lot of articulation on these hands. Very much reminds me of the superposable Indoraptor. But I prefer articulated arms for a Therizinosaurus. I was really worried that the arms were just part of an action feature. But I love how they're just articulated. And so yeah, those are the arms. Next for the legs, they have less articulation, but you know, it's generic for most of the dinosaurs. They can pivot in and out just a little bit, and as always, they can pretty much rotate all the way around. Not forwards very much, but backwards. And they got a little knee joint right here, which doesn't move very much, but it can move, and you can make it swivel there too. Guess for balancing issues. And I'm not sure if the ankles move or not. I'm not going to try because they're very stiff. But other than that, that's pretty much it in terms of articulation. Everything else is for an action feature. And we'll take a look at the little scan code, which, I mean, it is little. It's smaller in proportions to the size of this dinosaur. Now, for the action feature, it's all about the tail, kind of like Primal Attack, but there's a button right here that you press and it makes noise. So yeah, you push the button and it moves its neck and its jaws and it roars, and you swing the tail from side to side and it makes slashing noises. So for size comparison here, we're going to compare it first with Owen, a human figure, And yeah, this dinosaur is pretty massive compared to a human, which is actually pretty terrifying if I'm gonna be honest here. So no wonder Claire looks terrified when she's encountering this giant dinosaur. And then we're also going to compare it with a small dinosaur. So here's a Triceratops ghost here. And yeah, it's dwarfed by this giant herbivore. But it'll be cool to see a raptor take on this dinosaur. I think that'll be pretty cool to see. And then next up here we have the Thrash and Devourer T-Rex. And they look very good together. Like I said, the Therizinosaurus is a very big toy compared to the T-Rex. It's actually taller than the T-Rex, obviously, because of its longer neck and its head. But you can definitely tell the T-Rex is just a little bit bigger in terms of length. Here it is next to a human, and yeah, this poor Owen is standing next to like two giant, scary dinosaurs. But they scale very nicely together. And then, of course, we cannot have a comparison with a Therizinosaurus without another dinosaur that lived at the same time and same place as the Therizinosaurus, and that's Tarbosaurus. So this is the Tarbosaurus from the Primal Attack line, I believe back in 2020. And they scale very nicely. I know the Tarbosaurus is a bit small. It's supposed to be around the same size, I believe, as the T-Rex, but with these two right here, I think it scales very nicely. And this is not your normal, Walking with Dinosaurs special, Chased by Dinosaurs fight between these two with Nigel Marvin. No, this is a Jurassic Park version, and this Therizinosaurus is huge compared to the Tarbosaurus and would definitely kick its butt, just like it did in Chased by Dinosaurs. But these two scale up very nicely. And then here is a cool little setup I did between the Therizinosaurus taking on the Tarbosaurus. And yeah, the Therizinosaurus is, like I said, much bigger and can easily defeat this Tarbosaurus. But yeah, these two look very nicely together, and we'll definitely be taking pictures with these two together for sure. So everyone, that's just about to wrap it up for this review. I really enjoyed this figure. This figure has excellent paint jobs, has awesome action features, and has a really good sculpt work on it. And it's just a beautiful figure from Mattel. One of the best, I would say, and probably one of my personal favorites. I cannot wait to see this dinosaur in the movie this summer. So guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll see you guys again for the next one.